depths of the sea. Back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg, funky, yes, the doc went solo on that ass, but it's still the same. Long Beach is the spot where I serve my cat.
So my last two videos were more about East Coast albums. Now I'm actually gonna go back to the West Coast. On Dr. Dre's The Chronic, I said that it was the debut for Snoop Dogg, and right after Dre's The Chronic came out, Snoop Dogg followed up with his own album, and that's the album that I'm going to be talking about today, and that's Snoop Dogg's Doggystyle. So because of Snoop Dogg being on Dr. Dre's The Chronic, this album was immediately really popular. The whole album is revolved around the theme of G-Funk. However, that's not something new because we saw G-Funk in Dr. Dre's The Chronic. We saw it a little bit on the tracks that Snoop Dogg was on, so now that we have Snoop Dogg's debut album and it's his album, the whole album is going to be on G-Funk. This is known as one of the classic albums in hip-hop and West Coast hip-hop as well. So there's not that much difference in this album following from Dre's. It's the same themes, same style. Dre produced this album as well, so it's not different from Dr. Dre's The Chronic. It's actually kind of like a continuation for Dr. Dre's The Chronic, except it's not Dr. Dre's album, it's Snoop Dogg's album. And it still continued on from similar themes in hip hop, like the misogynistic, gangster rap, drugs and alcohol, gangs and crime, violent kind of themes that you see from like NWA or Dr. Dre style of lyrics. It all has the same elements into it. It just incorporated through the G-Funk genre. So because this album has the same themes as Dr. Dre and NWA, and basically what we had from West Coast albums at the time, Snoop Dogg did face kind of the same controversy with his lyrics. They're misogynistic, they're violent, they're all about drugs and gangs and portraying the gangster life or gangster image. Snoop Dogg said the exact same thing that Dr. Dre and NWA said when their albums came out, and it was that they aren't rapping about things they don't know about, they're rapping about their reality in LA. So yeah, there isn't a lot for me to say about this album, because everything I can say about this album, I've already said it just through the other West Coast albums that we've seen, like Dre and NWA. It's just more of a continuation of it, and rather than saying yeah, this album was really influential in that it created or it continued and solidified the theme and genre of G-Funk. So although the album, it's known for that, it is highly influential for that reason. I think the biggest thing to notice though is that this album does kind of adds on to the idea or kind of the distinction between East Coast and West Coast hip hop.